off with your regular tile. I already have some base coat on there. I'm going to show you guys how to mix the base color for my tortoise. So I'm going to use a little bit of canary yellow. I actually don't own all the colors that I would normally use in a tortoise, or that most people would use in tortoise design. So what I do is I actually make my own. I believe in being very resourceful. Second color is chocolate malt. Yeah, I'd rather be more resourceful and use the colors that I own than specifically go out and buy every single color. Now, of course, if I need a specific color, this one is live wire. If I need a specific color or if a client requests it, then of course I will go out and actually, search for it and buy it. That way it's here ready to go in my shop. Now you really don't need a lot of each color. I am going to take a brush and mix this through. You want kind of a brownish, yellow, smoky color. It's important to mix it into either a base coat or a top coat. That way you get a more translucent look. That way we can create the different layers of the tortoise. Now I also know that this tutorial is a little bit longer than most people would like, but again, I think it's really important to be able to talk you guys through this. Some clients prefer it more on the yellow side, some people prefer it more on the brown side. I prefer it to be a little bit on the brown side, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more brown. And I would like to go ahead and mix this on in. Now don't worry, this will never be exactly the same every single time you do it unless you're smart and measure it out and write down in a notebook, okay, I use 3 drops of this color, 4 drops of that color. And that's kind of part of the beauty of the tortoise nail design, that you can create so many different looks for different people. So I'm pretty content with this color. I'm going to go ahead and rest that over here. And using my nail, pretend this is your client, it's already prepped and ready to go. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this and brush it over lightly. Now see how the color is transparent. This is great. Explain to your clients that if they don't like to be able to see through their nail, that they may not like this nail art. Now go ahead and put this into the lamp to cure. While that nail is curing in the lamp, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the different colors that I'm going to use for the different layers of the tortoise. So going on with chocolate malt, I'm going to make a different pile for each color. I'm going to also use mayhem. I don't want my first color to be too light, so I'm actually going to mix a little bit of these two and also put some aside because this will be my second darker color. Black Beauty, this is their black shade. I'm going to go ahead and put that down as well. And then taking a dotting tool, I'm just going to swirl these up. That way they're ready to go once our nail comes out of the lamp. Normally I would wipe off my tool in between mixing different colors, but since these are all in the brown family, I don't mind using the same tool without wiping it. Go ahead and grab your nail out of the lamp, and taking the same brush, I'm going to pick up that creamy color and I'm going to add a second coat. This design, I feel, is all about layering. That way you can get the correct depth and dimension that the tortoise nail design has. If you ever looked at tortoise glasses or tortoise jewelry, you notice that there's a lot of different detail in it. So before I put this into the lamp to cure, I'm actually going to take a small brush and I'm going to use this, any little brush will do. I'm going to pick up my lighter color first and I'm just going to put random blobs. Now this part can be as random as you'd like. To be honest, when I first started out doing nail art, I sucked at being random and I would space everything out almost equally. And for this design, you don't really want to do that. This is supposed to be a natural, more organic pattern. So it doesn't matter what shape it is. I do try to keep it on the rounded side because it's organic versus man-made. You don't want it to appear really rough. A cool thing about putting this into the top coat, the base coat, is that it does spread a little bit. So if you notice, the first color that I put down is starting to kind of blend out. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the lamp to cure. So now that that is cured, you're gonna do, you guessed it, the same steps. Now I'm gonna go in again with our base color. This is important to make sure that you're building the layers. Even though gel manicures are pretty thin, and this layer of gel is really thin as well, you're gonna notice in the end that it makes a huge difference in your design. Taking that small brush again, I'm gonna pick up my second darkest color, and I like to overlap. So putting the darker spots on top of the lighter spots gives it a more natural look. It also helps add more depth. I like to put a little bit on the edge because it shows that, you know, this isn't the only part of the design. It makes it look like the design is still going even when it reaches the edge of the nail. Now, you know, if you don't have these exact colors, like you saw when I made the base color, you can kind of play with colors and make your own, to a certain extent, of course. If you have any questions after this tutorial, please feel free to ask me. I don't mind responding back, you know. If I can help, just reach out. So once you're happy with the amount that you've put on to your nail, then you can go ahead and do the same thing and cure in the lamp. Now check out how much dimension there is in that nail just after doing those few coats. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna go in for the final spot color, and I'm going to go back again with our creamy base and apply that. Keep it on the thin side. And with my small brush, I'm going to add black. Now you don't want to overpower your design with the black. It will spread pretty quick. So just work quickly, and there is no rhyme or reason to this. Put random shapes, different sizes. Black for some reason, I have no idea why, and if you do know, please let me know. Black spreads the fastest, I've noticed, out of all the colors that I use in this tutorial. But I think that black is crucial to the tortoise design. I will add a little bit more right in here. I feel like adding the small shapes is key. And I am pretty happy with that, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that into the lamp. While that's curing, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys this product from Luxa. If you didn't know, as of right now, I'm an ambassador for Luxa Polish, and I really love this item. This is from the Metals collection. And as you can see, they're little tiny pieces of foil. And I use these in my tortoise because I feel like adding the gold really brings this design together and takes it to the next level. Now check that out. Now that I added the black, it's really come together. So if you guys haven't figured it out by now, I am gonna go in with one more coat. Now this helps to seal in your design and add one more layer of depth. Do you see the difference? So taking my small brush from before, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of gold and I'm gonna place it randomly throughout the nail. Well, I mean, I say randomly because it kind of has a mind of its own, but at the same point, I'm thinking, okay, well, I want it to go from this corner and kind of go upwards in a rounded motion. So I'm gonna send it up and probably out around the top right. These flakes are really light, so you want to make sure that nobody around you is like coughing or sneezing, or that there's no crazy fan blowing. Don't want to overpower your design though, because all that hard work to make this design, you don't want to cover it all up. So I will move a couple pieces away from my key spots. So there's my tortoise. This looks great. I'm going to put this into the light to cure. So you'll notice that when the light catches it, the gold pieces from the metal collection do stick up. So you have a couple options. You can always go in. What I'm going to use is the Luxa Shine No Wipe Top Coat. And I'm going to apply 2 coats just because I don't want my clients to be bothered by the roughness or the texture of those metal flakes. And here is the finished result. I went ahead and added another layer of top coat. Hopefully you guys are able to see the different layers that we created. You can see the lighter brown in the background, darker brown closer up, and then the black comes into the foreground, covered by a little bit of that gold flake. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I do plan on doing more in the future. If you have any requests, please leave them in a comment below. And again, if you do recreate this, I would love to see how you recreate them, what colors you used, if you have more tips or tricks. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!